All right, so we got another interesting video here. This was posted by Mark Nixon over on X. And it says, Pierre Poilievre just obliterated Mark Carney. This is the fighter Canada needs. No weak answers, no scripted BS, just facts. The gloves are off, full attack mode, pop the popcorn, let's get an election now. All right, that sounds pretty interesting. So let's have a look at this video. It's a couple minutes, and we'll talk about it after like usual.
What economic and diplomatic experience do you have to go up against Donald Trump?
Oh, quite a lot, actually. So I was the Minister of Jobs and Housing in the Harper government, during which time housing cost half as much as it does today. I helped Mr. Harper cut the GST, cut income tax, cut business tax, and balance the budget. Over my time in Parliament, I've been scrutinizing and studying the books on the Public Accounts Committee, the Operations Committee, the Finance Committee. And if you want any proof that my economic ideas are the best, the Liberals are all trying to pretend that they're copying them right before the election. All the big economic questions of the last 5 years, Mark Carney has been wrong and exactly wrong, and I have been right. I said 5 years ago the money printing would cause inflation. He said deflation was on the horizon. I turned out to be right. I said the carbon tax would drive up food prices, and it did. Drove them up 37% faster in Canada than in the United States of America. I was the first parliamentarian to predict that we would have the inflation crisis, while Carney, Freeland, Trudeau, and others were saying that we would not. I was the first one to be, along with my Conservative colleagues, fighting for pipelines. Pipelines now everyone claims that they support after opposing them for the last 10 years. So if Mr. Carney is so smart on economics, how is it that he was so wrong for so long on all of the economic issues? One thing I don't have experience with is taking jobs out of Canada, moving them to the United States, selling out our resource workers to support Middle Eastern resource workers. That's not the kind of experience that I have, but that's not the kind of experience that we want.
That's right, and it's not the kind of experience we need. For all the people who think that, Mark Carney's better equipped to handle Trump, I mean, it makes no sense. There's just nothing true about that, and there's no evidence to say that he would be. Well, look at his resume. Yeah, you go look into his resume. Don't look at the job titles. Look into what actually happened. Ask the UK about his resume. Not to mention, he's another WEF puppet. He's just another globalist, elitist banker, old, rich, white man that Liberals are supposed to hate so much, but when it comes to their own, they don't have a problem with it. Pierre Poilievre is much better suited off to deal with Trump. Why? Because conservatives usually are better with finances. They want a good deal for both sides too. The Liberals these days, they want a bad deal because they want to screw Canada, and everything they've done, if you don't believe me, if you think I'm some conspiracy theory, all of their economic or financial policies have hurt the middle class. Okay, if you live in like a big city, but in a bad neighborhood, you're looking at $500,000 to $600,000 for a house minimum, and the houses aren't exactly nice. You got to pay $500,000 to live in the ghetto, and the house is like 100 years old. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, how is that economically feasible? The taxes, the inflation, and everyone in the middle class is suffering. Or most people are anyway, especially the younger middle class people who are coming out of high school and they hear stories. Well, their older brothers, even maybe, or their aunts, their uncles, their dads, their moms would all tell stories of, yeah, when I was in high school, I finished and got a job, and we only had to pay $500-600 a month for rent in Hamilton, for example. And now they're coming out of school going, wait, I'm going to have to get a job for roughly the same wage, but I have to pay triple what you paid in rent. So they become disenfranchised and have no hope, and that's what the Liberals have done. All they've done is destroyed the economics in this country, so that makes them better off. Carney has been an advisor economically for Trudeau for 5 years. And everything that he agreed with and suggested that Trudeau you go through with have been bad for the average person. So yeah, I would rather have someone who's conservative, someone who at least said, we don't know if this is true, but he says good things. He says populist things. So does Trump. I would rather I don't know if they're like-minded, but they're certainly more like-minded. I think that they have a common goal, is to make their country as good as it can be, where the Trudeau or Carney government has no such, they don't want any such thing. They have a clear agenda to destroy things. They've done a really good job, by the way, if you don't believe me. So why would I want someone who has been an economic advisor to a guy who's destroyed the middle class go and negotiate with Trump, or anyone for that matter? Like Pierre said, they've been wrong on everything they've done. And they know they've been wrong. They're just lying to the public to get votes. Then people keep voting them in and things keep getting worse, don't they? The last time things were affordable and safe in this country, relatively speaking, was when the conservatives were in power. End of story. So they seem more competent. Do you want someone who's incompetent negotiating with Trump? Or someone who's competent negotiating with Trump? I'll take competency. But let me know what you guys think. What do you think about what Pierre had to say here? Let me know what you think in the comments. Please do not be shy. Also, please do not forget to like and subscribe. It really helps grow the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new video.